Hello out there, guys. How are all of you doing? Welcome back to Rule of Two Review, and today let's discuss a little bit more of Nintendo at E3. So the last few years, every time E3 approaches, one of the big to-dos for everyone to talk about is what Nintendo is going to be doing any given year. Since 2013, they have elected, as we all know, not to do live press conferences anymore, and instead do Nintendo Directs and digital events, or like last year where they streamed nothing but the Treehouse that was primarily focused on Zelda. They've always been doing something kind of weird and unique and different, and for the most part, I definitely love that. I'm definitely someone who's kind of lamented the fact that they've decided to not go on stage for live press conferences. While I think what they're doing is great, I do also enjoy a live press conference when they go well. I've talked about this many times. I even discussed a couple of weeks ago in a video what Nintendo might actually be doing. Would they decide to go back to a live press conference this year? Are they going to do another digital event? There were even some rumors that said they might be renting an auditorium, which kind of led a lot of people to believe that maybe they were going to do a live conference again, which definitely got me excited, although I never truly saw that happening. And in the last few days, we finally got the confirmation that no, Nintendo will not be doing a live press conference. So this is both news and not news, because like I said a minute ago, really this isn't that surprising. I mean, as much as I wanted them to do a live press conference, and yes, some of the rumors got me a little bit excited at the prospect, I knew in my heart of hearts that that wasn't going to be the case, and now it's confirmed. Nintendo did just recently hold an investors meeting where they recapped the fiscal year of 2016 into 2017, which is very interesting. Almost all positive stuff, because they talked about having a huge profit increase over the previous year, and we all know why, because the previous year they had nothing but the Wii U and the 3DS going, Wii U not making a lot of money. Now, even in the last month of their fiscal year, of course with the release of the Switch and Breath of the Wild, and even sales of that game on the Wii U, Nintendo has been making a killing. 3DS still doing fantastic, still maintaining momentum, as I've also discussed on some recent videos as well. And through this and all the different things that they detailed, some information about third-party publishers getting excited, doubling down on the 3DS for the next year or two because of the new 2DS XL, which I also discussed in the last day or so. And through this, they also then confirmed that we're not going to be doing a live press conference at E3. We're going to be doing something different, more details to come soon. So like I've alluded to a couple of times already, this does make me sad. I definitely am one of those people, and those of you who've been following me for a while already know this, who does enjoy a live press conference. I really like it when a company can get on stage at something that's a huge spectacle like an E3 and just have this amazing, bombastic, exciting show and presentation and have surprises and get people excited and people are cheering and jumping out of their seats. And as I've said many times when discussing this, it makes you want to do the same thing if you're watching at home on your computer or your TV or whatever. You want to get excited and jump out of your seat too when something really cool happens on stage at E3. And you get all these great games, and I just think it's a great, exciting thing that I associate with the best E3 moments, including ones from Nintendo, as we all know some of the best Nintendo moments have come from those kinds of situations. So, I have to still clear the air. As much as I love press conferences from Nintendo at E3, and as much as I wish that they did truly decide to come back and do it this year, I still love the digital events, you guys. I definitely exist in a world where things aren't just black and white, and it's not just you like one and you don't like the other or vice versa. I happen to like both, and I may have a preference of wanting to see Nintendo come back on stage at some point, but I'm happy to welcome whatever it is they're going to do again. As much as I didn't even love that they did nothing but a Treehouse last year, they still ended up making it still entertaining and exciting. Granted, it was aided by the fact that Zelda was so great and blew our minds in so many ways that it was like, I don't even care that there's no press conference or digital event. This is amazing. And this year, we may or may not have that same thing. I'm definitely hoping that Nintendo doesn't do the Treehouse only again. Like, they got away with it last year because of Zelda, and that was fine. And we all had the hype and the wonder and the mystery of what the NX was going to be at that time, and that helped carry us through that as well. This year, the Switch is already out. It's been revealed, it's been discussed, it's been sold, we've been playing it, we've been playing Zelda and having our minds blown. I don't really think that they can get away with just Treehouse stuff again. To me, in an ideal situation, the Treehouse is an absolutely wonderful and spectacular complement to an otherwise great E3 presentation. Whether that's a live press conference or a digital event, I think the Treehouse goes great to kind of be an aside to whatever they might be doing for their main course. So I really do truly hope that Nintendo is bringing another main course. I expect them to bring that main course. I expect just another digital event. And that's fine. I'm ready to be excited. It's a post-Switch world. It's a post-Switch Nintendo. And it's the first post-Switch E3. So I really hope that they decide to bring it with the digital event. And I think that if it's a good 45 minutes or hour-long presentation with a lot of games for the Switch, we know 3DS stuff is coming, but give us some brand new Switch games too, and I think it could be great. The one other thing I want to mention about this I think is pretty interesting here, and this is just me speculating as I do on most of my videos. Nothing but speculation and theorizing is what I do on most of my videos, and I always try to remind you guys of that. It's just me guessing and putting my thoughts and opinions and guesses out there as a nerd and as a gamer and as a fan and a Nintendo fan. That's all it ever is. And I'm always open to the prospect of me being wrong. And that does definitely apply to this situation here. But going back to the speculation, what I think this might also mean is we might really officially, as of this year, be done with Nintendo on stage for all time at E3. I feel like if ever there was a time for Nintendo to show us that they're willing to kind of tread that ground again, they're willing to step on stage, bring Reggie or Miyamoto or whoever else they want to bring, Koizuma, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, the fellow who did a very great job during the Tokyo event, I think, of hosting that thing for the most part, or carrying most of the weight of that show, I should say. I feel like if ever there was a time that Nintendo was going to consider doing that again, at E3 specifically, it would have been this year. It would have been the year after 4 years straight, I want to say, not being on stage, and just coming off of the release of their brand new console in an unprecedented, uncharacteristic month of March, and they happen to have this great E3 to build momentum just a few months after the release of their new console that's doing really well, and everyone's loving it and buying it, like I like to say quite often as well. I feel like this would have been the time that they would have been willing to get back on stage and be like, yeah, we're willing to consider doing this. You know, we're going to do it sporadically. Some years we'll do a digital, some years we might go press conference. So here we are again to address you about our new console, about the Switch, and what you can expect in the first year from games from us for the Switch and beyond in 2018 and 2019, and just kind of set the stage for the future with confidence on stage, you know, not afraid to show anything and to just put it all out there live on stage. And this would have been the year, and the fact that they're deciding not to do it again, to me just says that, you know, I think that they're officially done. I think they've decided once and for all, they've put the nail in the coffin here. They've said, yeah, we're never going to do that again. It doesn't interest us. It's not Nintendo. We like bypassing that angle and just giving to you a clear and concise, pre-recorded and pre-presented message. And some of you might be thinking, oh, wasn't that obvious? I mean, I already knew that, of course. And if you guys feel like you already knew that, then that's great. That's good for you. I always saw the possibility that Nintendo might be willing to come back eventually because they have a long storied history of doing so. And while it's still not impossible that they come back, to me, the way I'm interpreting this, in the first E3, just a few months after the release of their new console, I'm interpreting this as, we're not interested in doing that ever again. We've officially put it behind us. This is how we want to do it going forward. And am I sad about that? Yes, because of all the reasons I've already told you why I love live press conferences, even from Nintendo. I'm willing to risk all of the bad ones for the few great ones. That's kind of how I look at that. So yes, I'm sad about this, but ultimately, it's still fine. Because Nintendo is great at this stuff. Nintendo is smart at this stuff. Nintendo, when they put their minds to it and they have quality content to show, they give us an amazing, cool little digital presentation that none of the other companies, I think, could achieve to such an effect. Granted, Nintendo can mess it up as well. I have to remind you guys, Nintendo has messed up the digital thing before. In 2013, the first time they did it, it wasn't very great. 2015, they didn't have a lot of great games. It wasn't very great. They can mess this up too, just like they can mess up a live press conference. But there's no doubt that there's a higher likelihood of it being good and solid and entertaining and eventful than not. And I think that that really does count for something. So at the end of the day, while I'm sad they're probably not going to ever come, you know, do a live presentation again on stage at E3, I'm still happy to welcome all these digital events for the future, provided Nintendo just gives us good games. So I don't know, that's what I think, and that's where I'm going to wrap it up, because I'm definitely losing my voice and not feeling too hot. If you guys couldn't tell, I don't know if I'm sounding funny or not, but I feel like I sound funny. So that's what I think is going on with Nintendo at E3, guys. I definitely want to hear what you have to say about the fact that they've officially confirmed they're not going to be on stage at E3 this year. Again, some of us definitely wanted to see them on stage, but I always knew in my heart of heart, like I said, that this was what they were going to probably do. another digital event or whatever, although maybe it does become a treehouse. Who even knows? But that's what's up. Tell me what you guys think. Are you excited about this? Are you not? Does it make you sad they won't be live? Do you not care because you hate live press conferences? Everyone runs the gamut on this topic, so it's always interesting to hear all the different sides to the story. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, as always, guys, this is Rob of Rule of Two Review, and I will catch you as always next time on another video.